All right, are you guys ready? We have another monthly budget plan for you guys today. We're going to be budgeting out November for 2020. Now, October we had an extra paycheck. We had 5 paychecks. We get paid every week. In November, we're back down to our 4 paychecks. So as you can imagine, we need to tweak our budget because we're not going to have as much money as last time. But also there's going to be categories that aren't going to require an extra week to cover, like groceries and gas. So that's something to keep in mind. We do have our trip to California in November, but I have a separate budget for that, so I'll go through that budget with you guys as well. But otherwise, we're gonna jump on the Excel sheet. We follow a zero-based budget or an every dollar budget, and I use the Excel sheet that I created a few years ago. You can find it on Etsy if you want to purchase it. So let's jump on and get to it. All right, so I've already gone through and done the monthly budget, so I know what we're getting paid, and I have a good idea of what I'm budgeting during the month. But also we budget by every single paycheck. So today what I'm going to do with you guys is we're going to go over my numbers, but we're going to decide what bill or what expense or what item are we going to take out of what paycheck. How are we going to make sure everything is covered? So Ricky's base pay is $22 an hour, and he works 40 hours a week. So you can see that here. So here's all of our paychecks for November. Like I mentioned, we get paid every week, and it happens to be on Fridays. So for the month of November, his base pay is going to be $3,520. This first paycheck that's coming up on the 6th, he will not have any overtime. And then on the 13th, he'll have about 10 hours of overtime. And actually, I think I need to change this because he's going to pick up this Saturday as well. So I think this is going to be $264, and that one's going to be 0. So I need to kind of update that. So these could change slightly, but this is just kind of an estimate. So we do have our vacation coming up in the middle of the month. So that weekend, he will not have any overtime, which should reflect for the 27th paycheck. So basically, when they work on Saturday, they're getting paid like 2 weeks out from it. So it's, sometimes I'm off by a week, so let's hope that I fix that. So basically we're anticipating he'll have $594 of overtime for November. Myself, I work part-time for the Amazon warehouse, so I just started. I've officially been there for 2 months now, and I can't believe it's been 2 months. Yeah, it's been 2 months. So I started there because I got laid off during the pandemic. I was teaching Zumba and working an after-school program at the YMCA. I got laid off, and after being laid off for 5-6 months, I was like, you know what, I just need to get a regular job. And I'm actually really enjoying working at the warehouse. It's part-time, so it's not killing me, and I am kind of stuck working nights right now until peak season is over, but I'm trying to get to days. So I did put in one schedule request just in the nick of time, so now I have Mondays off. And the reason I decided to have Mondays off is because my daughters get out of school early. So once I do get my morning shift, I cannot work Monday morning, or I wouldn't be able to get off in time to pick them up from school. So you're gonna see my hours have dropped slightly. So on here, I put that I basically could work anywhere from 12 to 20 hours a week. I'm basically working 4 shifts instead of 5 shifts, and then we can work 3 hours or 5 hours. So that's kind of that window you see there. So this first paycheck for the 6th, I actually had, I think, 23 hours, so a little over the 20, and that's just because that was my last week with a 5 shift week. So I'm looking at, $354, and then this one, you might be able to hear it in my voice. I am getting over a cold or a sinus infection, so I did actually call out sick on Sunday, just to kind of give myself a day to rest. So that one I'm going to be working less hours, so 189 is what I'm estimating, and then the other 2 weeks I'm estimating at basically 16 hours, I think, so a 4-hour shift, but there's a good chance we'll be working 5-hour shifts. So I just wanted to kind of lowball it, and we'll see what we get. So 249 for those weeks, so I should make about 1,043 for the month. The week that we're going on, that weekend that we're going on, we are going on vacation, like I mentioned. So on that weekend, Ricky will use PTO to cover 2 days that he's taking off. I'm using PTO to cover 1 day that I'm taking off, but again, there's no overtime or extra time for that. My self-employment, I'm anticipating $262. Now I have some stuff coming in that first week, and then I have my YouTube pay comes in around the 21st, 22nd, so I just line it up with the 20th, so 160 and 102 there. Cashback, this is our Discover It credit card. Now we basically started putting almost everything that we could on the card. At first we were only doing like food and gas, but now we actually put our insurance, our phone payments, our internet payments, our Netflix. We put a bunch of bills on there so we could earn that cash back, and then we pay it off every week. Whatever the balance is, I pay it off every week, so that way we don't end up paying them any interest. I'm lowballing it. I'm putting $25. I think last month we got like 27. I actually think it's going to be closer to 30 something because we did spend more on the card in October because we did a house project, but we're just going to lowball it. And then the interest for the bank account, that usually comes in around the 26th. So I'm going to put $6. Last month it was like $6.11, so we're just going to kind of keep it with the flow. So we're estimating for the month of November we're going to make about $5,451. And now we have to kind of tell it where to go. So automatically I have my Excel sheet to process percents. So I have 8% going into my husband's 401k. So his regular pay and his overtime, 8% of that before taxes automatically is put into his 401k. So we're estimating 70-40, 90-680, 91-50, and 70-40. So a total of 329.12. Myself, 4% of my money is put into my Roth 401k for Amazon. So we're anticipating $14, $7, $9, and $9, and then basically a total of $41.74 for the month. And then for giving, so we're still trying to put together, we're gradually saving up for our Christmas fund. So last month we put $100 in savings for Christmas. This month we're going to put $100 in savings as well. We just need to decide which paycheck is it going to come out of, so we will come back to that. And then Ricky's $5 comes out of every paycheck. It's donated to 2 different charities through his work automatically, so $20 for the month. And then we have our necessities. So we do include our taxes in our necessities. I estimate these the best that I can based off of what we've seen in past budgets. So we're estimating 116 in federal taxes, 74.78 in Arizona state taxes, 67.05 in Medicare taxes, and then Social Security we're estimating $299.13. We do have family life insurance. So Ricky's work they have life insurance for him, and he has disability insurance for him, and then we put extra. So we put an extra amount on him. We have life insurance for myself and for the kids. So we pay $22.36. Well, for this month, this happens to be, like I mentioned, it's a 4 paycheck month. Otherwise, it's $5.59 per paycheck. So when we have an extra paycheck, this is one of those bills that you would see we would actually spend more than normal. And then same thing, his long-term disability, that's actually based off of a certain percent of what he made. So that fluctuates between each paycheck. So we're looking at $14.81. Our health insurance for the whole family, we're a family of 4, is $87.80 per paycheck. This is another one where if we had 5 paychecks, we would be spending another $87.80. So again, this is down from last month. So it's $351.20. Our mortgage, along with all of the other things that are encompassed in the mortgage, the principal, the interest, the insurance, the property tax, the private mortgage insurance, that type of stuff is all combined into one payment. So we pay $1,040.34. Again, we need to decide which paychecks are these going to come out of, and so we'll come back to that. Home maintenance, we're not going to plan on anything. We did a project in October. Ricky did all the irrigation in the backyard for our fruit trees and our garden, and that way when we go on our vacation this month, those are all on a timer, and now we don't need to worry about that. So it actually came out really good. So we're not going to plan on anything else for this month. Groceries, we are doing $800, and that's just, we're going to keep our $200 per week is what we were kind of doing. Now we did end up staying within that $200 per week grocery budget last month. However, we still ate out, so we'll have to see what ends up coming of that. But we'll have to see how the month progresses. Also, like I mentioned, we are budgeting a certain amount towards food and stuff on our trip, so that might help out some of our regular grocery money. I don't know. We're not going to budget anything for personal care or household. We did put into our vacation budget kind of things that would be related to personal care or household. If, we'll have to see if we end up purchasing anything specific to the trip. Ricky's phone is $35, so we're going to go ahead and add that. We'll figure out where we want that in a minute here. So we have electric and solar. So our solar is 81. We're budgeting 79 for electric. Last month our electric was 77. So we just want to kind of keep it there. I thought 160 was a good even number, so we'll see. It might be a little bit less than that, fingers crossed, but that's what we're going to budget. Our water, sewer, trash is, we've been spending about $58 and some change, so we're going to say 59. Our truck payment is $369.83. Our car payment is $449.73. Gas, this one we are doing $75 a week. Whoop, did I do it right? Okay. Is what we're going to go ahead and shoot for that. And again, we did, part of our weekend trip, we did budget gas money specifically for the trip, so that might lower our overall gas spending a little bit as well. We'll have to see again how that plays out. Our insurance, this is for the car and the truck combined, it's $236.63. We're not going to budget anything for maintenance yet. Ricky is going to be having our friend take a look. We believe his brakes are due for the truck, so this will most likely change, but for now we're just going to kind of wait and see. His registration is due for the motorcycle in December, so we want to make sure we have the money. I like to have it a month ahead, and that way we can, go ahead and start the renewing it early. We're not going to budget anything for us extra spending money-wise or commission job monies for our kids. We'll just kind of have to see how that plays out. Our extra mortgage principal payment, we've committed to $200 minimum every single month, so you can see that here. Now here's something that changed a little bit. So our PlayStation, if you've watched previous months, was normally $10.90 every month, but I did have a viewer who pointed out that if I purchased the yearly subscription, that I could save quite a bit of money, and so that's what we're going to go ahead and plan for basically November's already paid for, so all of these bills that you see due, these are all of our bills that are due for December, so we are kind of a month ahead with the exception of a few that are due at the very end of November. But basically we're going to say in December, so we're going to have the money in November for December's thing. We're going to go ahead and go from a monthly subscription to a yearly subscription, and that's going to save us $70. And so thank you to that viewer for giving me that tip. Now Netflix is a monthly subscription. I was trying to see if they had a yearly option for a discount, and I'm not finding anything, so that's a bummer, because that would be nice too if I could save some money there. But otherwise, $9.83 is for our Netflix subscription, and then $242.82 should be going back into our vacation savings. We still have one trip for next year that we're still trying to save up for. So that's what the month looks like. Like I mentioned, now I need to go in paycheck by paycheck. So I used to do a certain percent of certain things and it would cover through every week, but now I do it a little bit different. I go off of the due dates that things are due. So the first thing I look at is what's the bill that's due the closest to this date. So like I mentioned, I have a few bills that are actually due at the very end of November. So for instance, Netflix is due on November 26th. So I want to make sure I cover that out of this first paycheck. And if you saw, I already did our gas and our food. That's coming out of every check automatically. So we're going to have our Netflix coming out. If I scroll up, we also have our insurance for the vehicles is due on the 28th. So I want to make sure I have that one covered out of this first check. Okay. Then we get into stuff that's due for December. So we have two bills that are due on December 1st. That's our mortgage and the PlayStation. So we're going to go ahead and cover the PlayStation. And then the rest, this $461.19, is going to go towards the mortgage payment. All right, so I use my calculator. Out of the next paycheck, I'll have to put $579.15 in order to make my that full payment and have that money put aside, right? So I'm just gonna do that same thing, just going by every due date. So that's the first. So the next thing we would have that would be coming up would be the electric, which is due on the 4th. We'll do our $79 for the electric because that's the 4th, and then you can see we have our car payment, which is due on the 5th. So we'll see if we have enough for that car payment. $449. We won't. See, we only have $108.18. So we'll be putting $108.18. So we have $449.73 minus $108.18. So we need $341.55 out of there. And let's see if we have enough to do anything else. We do. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead. The next one is the truck, which is due on the 6th. So we want that money. So basically we're getting everything a few weeks before it's due. Not a full month before it's due, but a couple weeks before it's due. So we feel comfortable and confident that, you know, we're covered for those. And then we would go ahead and do the 81 for the solar. Let me come on down and see if we still have plenty left. So we can do our 59 for the water, sewer, trash. And the 35 for the phone. Let's see what we have left. We have 38.15. So we're going to go ahead and start that here. 38.15. And then we need to see. So we need 52. So we'll have that ready by that next paycheck here. And then on the 27th, we're going to make sure we have our $200 for the extra principal payment on the mortgage. And then whatever is left, oh, the giving. Then we're going to put that $100 in the savings account. And I like to color code. So everything red, this just means this is what I'm projecting out. Once it gets spent, it's black. If it's put in savings or invested, it's blue. If it's in the bank account, it's orange. That's just kind of so I have like these visuals of what's going on. What's left should be, so this could, for some reason it calculates off by a penny every once in a while, but that's that. So that's where everything is going to come from and when it's going to come from. So that's what November looks like. So again, every week you can join me and I go through the actual paycheck and we put what did we actually get, how much taxes was taken out, what do we need to change based on things that have changed for what's coming up or things that we've spent money on that may have be different. So we update that on a weekly basis. You can join me every week for that. And as promised, we're going to jump onto my vacation budget real quick and we'll see what the weekend getaway is looking like. So I budgeted $1,200 for this trip and we're just doing basically 2 nights in California. We are renting, it's not necessarily a beach house, it's not on the beach, it's about 2 miles from the beach, but we are renting it with my friend, 2 of my girlfriends and their kids, so it wasn't that cheap, I'm not gonna lie, but you know what, one of my friends was actually, we were both supposed to be going on a cruise this year in December, and that you know, I pushed it back and I said, well, we're not going to go this year, we'll go next year, and she canceled it altogether. So in a way, this is the trip that, it's a mini trip of what we were planning on doing in December together anyways, so that's fine, we splurged a little bit. So what I put here, so pre and post travel, so these are things that are basically going to happen, you know, shopping that's going to be done before we leave and then driving to there or driving home. So I have here groceries for the house, so for the rental house, we're going to have 2 breakfasts, 1 lunch, and 2 dinners, and then, you know, drinks and snacks. So I'm budgeting $85. And then we have our gas to and from California. So I'm budgeting, I think I'm going to need roughly 3 fill-ups. It costs between $25 and $30 a fill-up, so I'd say about $90 at the most. So I went ahead and just said $100. And then this is that extra, like I said, personal care or household item. I'd put beach gear, so depending if we need to buy anything, I put $50 for that. our portion for the rental, $725. That's our biggest ticket item here. And then I have fast food or restaurants. So we're going to do 1 breakfast and 2 lunches and 1 dinner between that 3-day weekend, basically Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. So $100 for that. And then I put day use parking at South Ponto Beach. So it's Carlsbad is where we're headed. So I just put the enough for 2, so $15 each day. So we'll see. My friend was talking about, just getting a Uber or something because it's only 2 miles, but I also want to bring like our canopy and our beach chairs and stuff, so I don't really want to worry about an Uber, trying to shove all that stuff in the Uber. I don't mind paying for parking and then just finding a spot, so we'll see. And I did go ahead and budget for the Sea Life Aquarium. So basically it's $10 each, I think, so $40 for that. And then I put $70 for miscellaneous, so whatever we, something random. And I just kind of picked a random number just to make our overall amount, the $1,200. So this is kind of the budget template. You can see it looks very similar to like my yearly budget template. And I started using this for any of our trips. Where's the money coming from, and what is this? We have post-travel, our accommodations, and then the activities and things that we're doing there. So that's, again, this is in its own separate budget. I'm not going to be putting it into our personal budget because this money is already in our savings account, or some of it's already spent because I've already paid half of this to my friend. So it's already there. It's just waiting for that trip. So I'm not going to put it in November's budget, but I wanted you guys to know that this money is being spent somewhere in the background. So I am going to be trying to add some templates to my Etsy shop this hopefully November and December. So before the year is over, I'm going to be adding a few different templates to my Etsy shop. So I'll add that vacation budget, I'll add my yearly budget, as well as some of the amortization schedules that I've showed in our debt payoff videos. But as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next month. Bye.